So this is a review of the Jorvik Viking Boots from VikingShield.com. So these are a fairly affordable choice for a nice looking Viking boot. And I would actually really like them if it wasn't for a few minor issues. So on all accounts, it looks pretty nice. It does have a more modern construction of the sole, and the nice thick heavy soles being nailed to the sole of the turn shoe, plus there's a sort of an insole in there that's padded leather, and that's fairly nice and all these things, and they seem to last for a fairly long time. So then comes, what's the problem? Well, most people would think that this is a fairly authentic construction where the toggles go through the little loops and everything, and that's great. No, not so much. This is actually backwards. I was looking at the York Archaeological Trust's book on the leather finds from York, and it's actually interesting because these straps on the original boots actually have the toggles on them, and then here there's little flaps that go through little holes in the leather and gets tied inside that the toggle passes through. So, you know, that's acceptable, I guess, with this. The other thing that's wrong is that the toggle material itself, they never actually made bone toggles for shoes. They haven't found a single one. So you can't really, or at least that I know of, and that the society that I'm with knows of. So it's actually been mandated that we replace all of these. So I'm currently actually replacing these ones for the guy that owns these shoes with these nice leather toggles. And the cool thing about this too is now, because these are a little bit small around his ankles, they're fairly tight, so it takes him a bit to get them on and off, especially with the Winnegas on. This now makes it so that you can extend it just by pulling the leather through and everything, and it's still very tight, so it's not going to go anywhere. So then in my mind, you know, they're an alright boot, except for there's one more problem. Apart from the more modern construction, which is somewhat forgivable because you're going to be walking on stony ground and stuff, and some people like to have that extra cushion. Just 1 second on mine though. My turn shoes, they're very crude construction, far thinner leather. Just a single piece of 9-ounce leather for the sole. But what I've done is I've stuffed them full of hay and straw, which definitely helps. It pads it, and it also, wet straw and hay produces heat as it sort of breaks down, so then your feet don't get quite as cold. And then, you know, as that gets packed down, I put more in, and all stuff, and it works really well. So I don't really need the thick soles of these ones. So the other problem that happens is if you look at the sole, this is the inside. The toggles are on the outside. Well, I'm going to say probably 95% of finds to do with shoes that have that kind of closure's on the inside. So it's just funny to me that these were built without a whole lot of research done. And they're commercially produced without that. So if you want to get very, very stingy about it, these are not the greatest. If you're looking for something that's comfortable, affordable, so you don't actually have to make your own, and they look nice and everything, and they're fairly strong, then these are an alright deal, as long as you replace the toggles with leather ones. Viking Shield also makes, or has a producer that makes another one like this, that I think it's only available in men's sizes 8 to 12. This is a bigger range, but they actually have it with leather toggles instead of bone. So, are these all right? Yeah, I guess. They're not for me though. I'd rather have something a little more authentic. And the other thing too is they don't reinforce the heels on these, so this heel is starting to sag in, which and sort of bow out at the bottom here, and eventually this will pinch in so far that it gets stepped on and wrecked. So that's another thing. If you make your own, then you know how to reinforce the heel and everything, and you can do it with the band of the heel that comes to a point and is sewn up the back, and that's a period authentic way of doing it. It's recorded in that book from the York Archaeological Trust. So these shoes are all right. In the end, it'd be up to you. I don't think they're not right for me. I'd rather have something that's custom made and everything. There are a few resources that if you Google, you can figure it out, that make better, more authentic shoes. But if you're looking for pretty much, if you're looking for something quick and easy and fairly affordable, and if you're already on that site buying your shield bosses and stuff, because that is what these guys do. That's their stock and trade. If you're going to buy a shield boss that's not handmade directly from the blacksmith, or you're going to buy a ready-made shield, their stuff is fairly high quality. That's their stock and trade. That's what they do. Some of their garb is nice. So if you're shopping there already, these might be worthy of getting picked up. I know the guy who owns them is very happy with them, and he recommends them to me, and I kind of look and go, I don't know, but I don't want to tell him that they're not quite right for me. But okay, to each their own, I guess. So the more that I worked on these shoes, the more that I realized that the leather is not veg tan, and it's not brain tan. It's likely chrome tan. It has a bit of a polish to the outside, and the inside is kind of spongy. So personally, I definitely wouldn't buy these. So that's the basic review of this. There, I could take them or leave them. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. As always, comments and questions can be left below. And see you next time.